Welcome to the Gainin Fast on Memphis podcast with Aaron Shriver, brought to you by Arlo Revolution. Each week, Aaron connects melodies and memories with fans and artists from all genres of life. When all else in life is gone, only music will be left to leave the legacy of life's adventures. Please welcome your host for the Gainin Fast on Memphis podcast, Aaron Shriver.
Hope everybody can hear me, see me, everything's good, working good. If you can, and if you're here, go ahead and drop in the comments where you guys are watching from tonight. I'll go ahead and get everything up and ready. And let's hope that everything worked good tonight. So, trying to get that little 5-minute video going. But if you guys are watching right now, go ahead and can hear me fine. Go ahead and make sure you can drop in the comments where you're watching from tonight. So, let me check one thing, because it sounds like mine. All right. I'm trying to see if I'm back. If you guys can hear me or see me, let me know. I'm trying to get my feet up and going on my end. And I don't think something's going on again every week. I'm trying to fix this problem, guys. I promise you it's coming. The fix is coming soon. So, all right, I think we're good. Yeah, Landon, I'm trying to play with some stuff, some sound. I actually do have a job posting right now for someone to help me out with some audio issues. I want this to sound great, look great, and everything else. Yeah, go ahead, drop where you guys are from. We're going to kick off the show now. But welcome to Season 3 of the Gainin Fast on Memphis podcast, a place where we connect melodies and memories with both fans, artists, and some of the most interesting people in and around the music community. I'm your host, Aaron Shriver. Tonight we are presented by our good friends over at Arlo Revolution. You saw, I wish you were closer, man. You saw earlier at the beginning of the video, or the beginning of their little promo video. So if you guys have not had a chance to check them out or give them a like, please head over to their page and do so, because they're doing some really cool things over there. But also, as you can see on our screen, we have Art on the Firewire by Joel and the original church choir by Corey Oliphant. It's awesome to have both of them with me every week as sponsors of the show. This is awesome. The show just continues to keep growing and growing, and I love where it's going. So, but we want to thank each and every one of our sponsors for their continued support. If you are looking for ways to support the show, I'm going to go ahead and drop our Patreon over in the link or over in the chat, and it will be in all the show notes if you are listening to the show back on a streaming side of things. Let me go ahead and grab that link for you guys real quick and throw it over there. But Patreon is our heart and soul. We're trying to get to 100 Patreons. Right now, we're about 30 or 32 away. So if you guys go ahead, check that link out later on tonight. Some really cool things. Also, our after show. We have an after show almost every other week over on Patreon. Some really cool stuff. We're going to have one tonight, and I'm going to tell you, it's kind of going to be packed. We're going to talk about that in a few minutes. But so the heart of the show is our Patreon. Tiers start just at $1. Our current goal, like I said, is 100 Patreons. We're only 32 people away from that goal. We currently have room also for 2 on-screen sponsors. So if you guys are looking for any kind of sponsorship or anything, go ahead and do that. And I know why we had issues at the start of the show. Tonight is our first time ever going live over on our YouTube channel too. So we are live on YouTube and on Facebook for the first time ever. So we're going to see how this works out. So yes, that's why we had a rough opening. So we hope it gets better. We're gonna have another private later on this week. We're gonna talk about that and ways to support this show. On-screen sponsors, we love this way each and every week. Something you can't do. The best way to support the show is to like, share, and subscribe. Last week or the week before, you guys did amazing. Almost 50 plus reviews on the show over on Apple Podcast, where we broke the top 50 music interviews. Insane. Like when I look at that list, like people like Alec Baldwin, Billy Strings, just some amazing names on this cat or these charts, and I'm just chilling right there with them. So it's really cool to be able to grow. And like I said, now we're on YouTube tonight. So if you guys are out there, like and share the show anywhere you guys can. The biggest being Apple Podcast and over on YouTube if you subscribe to our YouTube or share the screen. We are live if you are listening to this back on any of our streaming sites every Tuesday night on Facebook. So come and join us over here on Facebook, interact with us, ask some questions with the guests, and then listen back to it the next day on Apple Podcasts, Pandora, wherever you listen to your stuff. Amazon now, it's everywhere you can find us. So, all right, guys. So last Tuesday, we tried for a show with a really cool guest, my good friend, Ms. Roselle. We're going to have him back this Friday night. So we're going to try and hopefully everything's worked out, all the kinks are worked out. So we are going to have him back this Friday for a rescheduled show and a special show. I mean, we haven't done a Friday show in a while. So this Friday night, jam out with Mitch Roselle over here. It's going to be a great show. He's kind of like Garth Brooks' protege, so it's going to be a fun time. But same time, 7 p.m. this Friday night. And then next week, we're on Wednesday instead of Tuesday night. So don't forget that. Next week, we're on Wednesday instead of Tuesday. Tuesday is election night. That's what Tuesday is. So we're going to take Tuesday night off next week because it's election night. We're going to come back on Wednesday night, and we're going to have Craig Campbell. It's going to be an amazing time, guys. I cannot wait. I got to talk with him a few years ago at the rave in Milwaukee. It's going to be a good time. So yeah, once again, and if you guys did check out Patreon, we do have a monthly giveaway this month. Once again, another Jeremy Stillman book, another $25 Chief merch gift card, and Mitch Roselle T-shirt. Maybe I could try to get that autograph finally too. We'll see. I might be able to. We'll see. But okay, we're gonna move on to all the fun stuff tonight, because tonight I'm gonna let my two worlds kind of cross together. So I do back probably I'd say late 90s or so. I started kind of getting curiosity with what was out there for paranormal wise. I lost my grandfather in 2000, and things really started acting weird around. And I'd find like fishing lures and just different things that I'm like, it shouldn't be at my house. So I really started researching. This is when the internet was first coming around. Yeah, I'm almost getting 40, but I think I was still signing up with AOL. But so researching was mainly still going to the libraries and grabbing out the books and researching and reading about all the cool hot spots. Well, about 10 years, 2010, maybe 2011, there was a TV show that I remember watching called Paranormal Challenge. And that's when I first met our guest tonight. Or not really met him, but really got to know the guy. And I really started liking these guys, even when they first broke onto TV, because one, they kept their faith in it. They're good, hearted Tennessee boys that really kept faith in it, and they knew what they were doing, and they were kind of like us. They weren't, I don't want to say any other names, but they weren't kind of Hollywooded, kind of. They were more kind of true to their roots, and that's why I kind of really gravitated to this guy and this team. And I finally, about 3 years ago, finally got the chance to work with them. And we started building up a friendship, and ever since then, it's been really cool getting to know him. But tonight, we're going to really introduce to you guys who the man, Stephen Doogie McDougal, is. So we're going to go ahead and bring him on, guys. Welcome him in. See if I got the right buttons are. I didn't press anymore. Everything's changing here tonight. I'm even hitting the wrong pictures. What's up, buddy?
What's happening, brother?
Hey, how you doing, man? How you been?
I can't complain, brother. I'm living life, man, and loving it.
That is good. If you guys make sure you guys can hear, if you guys are in the chat, and if anything's wrong with the audio, just let us know, and we can try to adjust that as we go along. But dude, welcome to the show. It's been really cool to like watch you grow over the last few years and kind of see where you guys came from. But I shared my story real quick what got you into all things spooky?
Man, I grew up in a haunted area of Tennessee. I'd always heard the stories of the Civil War forts, and it, it's it's just these forts. And ever since I was a kid, about and all this kind of stuff. And then my grandfather
Dude,
kind
you
of,
on your phone right now?
and the house my grandmother was living in, she was saying, so, I didn't really judge. I just,
Oh, you're good. Sorry,
everything,
it started lagging again, so I want to make sure we cleared that up. You sound good now.
okay. But yeah, my grandmother, she started talking about all these different things going on, and nobody would really listen to her. They just, thought she was just older, living by herself. My granddad's gone, but she never, she never did talk about things like that. So I just kind of sit back and listen, and you know, a few years passed, fixing different things in the house, uh, and the first night I went up there, there was I did an EVP session, and the first EVP I got out of that house talking to me. So after that, I mean, it was just full on, trying to, I don't know, after my grandmother passed, just kind of, but just kind of help not really get rid of their hauntings or anything like that, but just whatever knowledge that I learned about these things, maybe help somebody else so they're not sitting in their house being afraid of this stuff. Like my grandmother was for so long, and I didn't have any answers for her, 20 years ago.
I remember that's kind of when I first started happening for me. Um, my first time I really dabbled in everything was my grandparents' house because they had an old Ouija board sitting behind the wicker chair in the kitchen. Like for one, who has a wicker chair in the corner of the kitchen? But then there's a Ouija board sitting behind it. And so I used to always grab that and mess with that every now and then when I was like 13, 14. I didn't know what was going on. I didn't know what it was. And it was an old one. And I always went to look for it after we lost both of them. I went to go look for it. It was gone. So I don't know what happened to it. Hopefully someone
Right.
in the family had to get it. But so yeah, that's all started with that. But then when things started happening with my grandfather, I was just like, and when I talk to people, it's always someone close to them that's kind of like giving them a sign or letting them know they're still hanging around. That really got them into it because they got that sign. They're like, okay,
Yep.
what was that? So when you got into it and you started kind of coming with a team, what do you mean, Chris? Was that your first time really being on a team?
Well, there really wasn't a team. I'd been investigating for a long time before, I guess, it was cool and, on TV and that kind of thing. But me and Chris were workout buddies back years ago. And I remember I was working at the hospital, and he come driving down one day. I don't know who he was up there visiting, but he stopped and he's like, "What's up, man?" I said, "What's going on?" And we were talking about, I guess he was on a TV show uh, with the ghost hunters, I think. And we got to talking. I was like, "Yeah, I heard you were on that show." And I said, "I didn't know you did ghost hunting." I said, "I've been doing this for a long time." And he said, "Yeah, man, I'm really into that." So me and him got together, and it was all history from there. We started the Tennessee Wraith Chasers, and you know, and it's went on for the last, I don't know, 10 years, I guess.
Yeah, I remember someone Landon saying paranormal challenge. Let me check out and see. I guess they're saying they don't think my
You know, I could be a little bit better. So sorry, guys. This is another reason why. Okay, now you say my mic is fixed. So let me know if that stays like that. I'm kind of, you want. All right, cool. So this is the fun of recording shows live. So I think it was.
Oh man, you guys, this is fun. So sorry, Doogie. I've been having sound last few weeks, and I've been trying to fix them as I go. And I'm like, you know what? I'm just gonna hire somebody to kind of sit down here and help me with stuff. So I threw a job offer out there. I've had a few things come in, so we'll see what happens. All right, now he's saying perfect. Landon, you should live closer, man, just so I can hire you to come over every Tuesday. Get the hell out of Georgia, dude. So he did bring up Old South Pittsburgh Hospital and Paranormal Challenge. So first off, how did you get hooked up with that, dude?
It was they hounded us for a long time to be on that show, and they finally made us an offer that we was like, let's try it out. You know what I'm saying? We'll get our feet wet, whatever, because we turned them down like quite a few times, and they just finally kept on. And then, Porter, Chris, and myself ended up on the show. Ended up doing good. Kind of figured out, what that side of TV was all about, and we wanted to do something a little different.
Get your feet wet in the good side, right? Now, I call it more the Hollywood side of TV when it comes to that kind of thing of paranormal, because I really think that's what it really is. It's kind of doctored up more to be more dramatic, I guess, more Hollywood dramatic. But watching you guys was always legit, and I was kind of talking about it a little bit in the entry or before we started. Here's a good picture from back in the day.
Oh Lord,
I was saying you lost some weight since then too, huh?
Yeah, I'm about 120 pounds lighter now.
Damn, man, that is awesome. I was gonna say I thought you've transformed over here. I got another one. So this is you guys ended up winning this episode, but I know. Let me get rid of this picture real quick.
I guess if you call it winning, I don't know.
For that other team that's up there too. Was that? I mean, no offense, but I mean, who looks like the paranormal investigators here? Well, really, everybody does.
Well, that wasn't even the team we were supposed to be going up against. This was just somebody they put together at last minute because the other team dropped out. And, that show was, it is what it is, man.
Yeah.
I don't think it got us any further than anything else. It was just one of those stepping stones to get, to where we're at today.
And what I think is it's a good concept. I really think that concept could work for like TV again, but to make it more of two teams working together and seeing what kind of evidence they get and then comparing evidence. Yeah. So I think something that would be awesome, but don't make it like a challenge. But I would love to always to see like take two teams, send one team in one night, send another team in the other night, then the third night, let them both investigate together and compare evidence, compare what they got, and see if anything kind of comes together of it. But
I would agree with you fully on that.
It would just be fun, man. I think it'd be fun and be different. But so yeah, you guys end up doing Paranormal Challenge, and then from then after that, that's kind of when I'm sure producers and everybody else started getting a hold of you guys and saw what kind of talent you had. And tell me about Ghostland, man.
Ghostland, see, nobody even knew us. That was the thing. Nobody knew us from Paranormal Challenge. We had put some stuff out on YouTube, and that's where we got the call from Tremendous Entertainment. They were going across something on our YouTube page, and they reached out and asked if we'd be, if we wanted to maybe shoot a sizzle reel and that kind of thing. We were like, sure. So we shot a sizzle, and the next thing we know, we were shooting a pilot episode called Ghostland, Tennessee, and then the rest is history from there, man. We just kept going on. I think we had like 5 shows. We're the only paranormal team, I think, out there that had 5 shows on TV.
Oh yeah, I mean 5 different separate shows. So I love this old school picture right here.
Yeah, that was back in the.
I was digging on
back in the Photoshop days. Bad.
I was gonna say you cleaned up well back in those days, huh?
If my
So
skin
so from Ghostland,
if my skin was only that clear.
that's shiny though. Found this picture too. Here's an old school picture. That was from Paranormal Challenge too, right? Of you three? Might take a minute. I was gonna say it might take a minute to come up.
I think so. I don't know. We spent a
That's
lot
kind
of time
of
at
cool.
OSPH, so
That's still. I mean, do you still consider that home, or I mean, how is that to you now? I mean, that's still
Porter had
still your baby
hair
over there,
then
right?
too.
So yeah, OSPH still pretty much your baby, isn't it?
You know, that place has a dear spot in my heart, for sure. I have a
Yeah.
really good connection there. I have people tell me all the time, when I'm not even there, that they're getting my name there. So I don't know, man. That place is one in a million there, and but I've found one other place, and I can't really let it out yet. I've got something in the works with another place, but I found a place that almost, if not definitely, tops OSPH.
Really?
Oh yeah.
Nice. I cannot wait to hear or see that, man, because I know you've been working on some stuff, but we'll get back to our topics and what we're talking about, and we can kind of see
Yeah.
and talk about where we were going. But from Ghostland, what came next for you guys? I mean, because that's when I'm sure people were kind of knocking to see what kind of talent you guys really had when you guys had Ghostland out there, right?
Yeah, Ghostland was a launching pad. It hit out actually on Animal Planet. I
Yeah.
don't know what the thinking was there. I guess because we used a dog. But
I was gonna ask you how
the
that
next
started.
thing, yeah, it's because we used to. Porter had an old English bulldog named Bourbon, and we'd use him. And we used pets even before Ghost Hunters even brought
Yeah.
pets on. I to my
Yeah.
grandparents' house. I took a dog, and they have this heightened sense, and they can really I don't know, I guess feel more than we can and hear more than we can. And they can really lead you to different things. But I mean, it's rough taking a pet, to every investigation all
Everywhere.
over the place. Yeah. And
Yeah.
so, Bourbon passed on, God rest his soul, he's a good dog. But I guess ghost hunt, we let him retire from the ghost hunting so, he could live out his old age sitting on the porch eating dog treats or whatever.
Oh, I'm sure he'd love to give him a cheeseburger every now and then. And
Oh yeah, for sure. But yeah, it led right in. Destination America contacted us and wanted to go into a series, and we started talking. And I'd always had this curiosity, and I threw out the concept of Ghost Asylum.
yeah.
Everybody thought I was crazy, but they were like, "Man, that's a really good concept." But they kind of manipulated it and turned it into traps or whatever. But it was actually more like a transportation device. Like if you could go in, contain these things and take them out of the equation of somebody's house that's being haunted, then you're actually helping somebody.
See, and
But
that's one thing I know you and I talked about. I think that one of the first times you and I met, we kind of talked about it because the one thing I didn't like about Ghost Asylum is because they made it feel like it was you guys were going and trapping them and taking them out of where maybe people wanted to be, and it's like, and that wasn't really the case. I mean, one case I did want to talk to you about that I wanted to bring up on Ghost Asylum, Peoria State Hospital, man, because that one's close to home. But how was that for you guys? You guys were the last team to investigate that before it got torn down.
Peoria was an awesome. It was an awesome place, man. I hate it so bad. I heard they tore the place down, and it was just kind of
Yeah.
saddening, man, because just all the things that went on there, people that considered that home, even in the afterlife. It was just kind of sad to see that place go because I think there's an energy stuck in there, especially that place was made of huge stones. And there's no telling what type of energy was still stuck there. But I know when we were there, we implemented the Utica cage,
Yeah.
and I think we caught something there. We had the three girls in the dark with us too, and it seemed to really connect with them, connect with me, connect with them. It actually come over to the Utica cage. Um, And I actually think that whatever was there wanted to maybe get out, maybe just get outside those
Hmm.
walls so it could pass on to wherever. Because one thing that I'm still on the fence about, are these walls containing that energy, in like a paranormal prison, an afterlife prison, that all you have to
Yeah.
do is get the energy outside the wall so it can move on to wherever it needs to go. That's always been something that tugged at my heart. Like, why is it trapped in that chest of drawers? Why is it trapped in this little doll? What makes it trapped in there? And everybody was saying we was crazy for doing that stuff. You know what? Everybody can talk and do their thing,
Yeah.
but that was something that I was really passionate about, to see if we could use a transportation device to get them outside, to maybe get them to where they're going, have a ceremony. If we thought there was something there, maybe they didn't get a proper burial, maybe they didn't have people that really cared, so we could say some kind of prayer over them and send them on to where they need to go.
And maybe they were scared, knowing that maybe they knew the place was getting ready for demolition, and maybe they
Right.
knew it was coming. So maybe that was something that scared them, or something that they were going to get trapped somehow or some way.
Right.
I don't know. That's something we are out there always trying to learn, to see,
Right.
just to kind of see why and where the people are going. Now, there are a couple of spots still left at Peoria Hospital. I know the Pollock Hospital is the old TB ward of the Peoria State Hospital. They still do
Mhm.
tours of that. You can still rent that out. I'm good on that for a while. I have a thing where if I go to any of these locations and they still have it set up as a haunted house for Halloween, I'm out. Like,
Yeah.
I'm done. I went to another place a couple weeks ago. I'm not really going to drop a name yet, but I didn't enjoy it, because everywhere I turned there was like a 6 foot tall demon scaring the shit out of me. And I
Yeah,
don't want
exactly.
that. I want to be getting good research. I don't want the booze scare. I want the good stuff. Like, I want to be researching this place. And where we went had a really good potential of being huge, and walk in and they still, I call it the blow up butthole. But when you go to haunted houses and you walk through that thing where both sides are like airbags and it's really a tight claustrophobic feel, they still had that thing there. And I was like, you know what? Nah, I'm good. So we just kind of
Yeah.
messed around and had a good time that night. But I'm not. They had that at the place in Peoria. They still have another place that's set up with a lot of haunted house decorations. I'm like, once it's gone, they kind of restore the building, I'm good. I'll go back. But for now, I'm good. I'll wait. But
Right.
when you guys were doing Ghost Asylum, you guys did a lot of cool spots. Where was kind of like if you had to pick your favorite episode or your favorite location on Ghost Asylum, what one would you say was the one that kind of you still kind of think about today?
Man, that's a hard one, man. We hit some really cool locations with Ghost Asylum. I really did enjoy Brushy Mountain State Penitentiary. I had something happen to me there that that I really can't understand to this day. Like this cold mass come over me, as we were trying to draw this thing over to our water experiment, and I'm not sure what happened, and I still to this day I'm not sure what happened. I just know that something got on me where I couldn't move. But the things that I seen in there, my shirt got burnt. We were looking for a little person there called Jack Jet, and I made definite contact with him. When they had me in solitary, I went down there and did a solo, and I asked, I was like, "Who am I talking to?" And it come across the obelisk and said Jack. So I mean, it was, I mean, stuff like that you just can't just brush off.
Yeah.
And but there in Preston Castle, out in California, we did that place. That was an amazing place. We used everything in that experiment. We used heat, we used air, we used everything that you would talk about them drawing energy from, uh, to see if we could get some kind of response, something. And
Yeah.
it ended up turning out pretty crazy. We had good responses. We had things show up. I seen what I thought was a little boy come around the corner and come up to the table. So, um, and in Hawaii, we did an episode in Hawaii. Just, I mean, that was great just because it was Hawaii.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
you
Yeah.
know,
I'm in.
uh, but I grew up. My parents were big Elvis fans, and we got to do his bungalow out at the
Oh
Cocoa
man.
Palms, and that was just just the spiritualism in Kauai on the little island.
Oh yeah.
is just amazing, man. Those folks, man, I tell you what, I think some of them have it figured out, man. I don't know. They don't. I mean, I'm sure they got the same stuff we deal with every day, but they're very spiritual about their ancestors
Hmm.
and things like that. And they're always courteous, always thinking about the ones passed on. Where I think over here, in the main states, we've kind of lost vision of that. It's just all selfish and do what we want to do when we want to do it, and not worry about anybody else, even the ones passed on. And that's kind of, I kind of like that place over there, just because how those folks think about the ones that's passed on, and they still put them on a pedestal.
Yeah. I agree, and that's why a lot of places they should. I know there's a jail that we go to. We try to go this year in Newark, Ohio. It's one of our favorites, Old Licking County Jail, and I mean they're really good with their history. Just the lady that Terry that gives you the tours there, just so amazing, and she'll like all night long be checking on you to make sure you guys are still know or need help or anything like that. And I love places that kind of still hold the history of the building kind of like on a pedestal different times. So you guys did Ghost Asylum though for almost 3 years, or was it 3 years? Or
Yeah, it was three seasons, I think. It
damn,
was 30 or 40 something episodes, I
man,
think.
that'd be fun to just be able to go around and see all these different places and be able to investigate all the different things that are out there. I mean, because there's so many
Yeah.
places, and I mean, how many today, how does it feel to when you see these places being shut down like for good or even being destroyed? Like we were talking about Peoria being torn down. I know there's a lot of people that are out there trying to save these buildings, but like, I mean, just history, we're losing history daily, I think. And I know a lot of people are trying to save them, but I know you've had a few around you, right?
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of places being torn down. Um, this new generation, man, it's not about history anymore. It's about new clean lines. And I think when you start destroying history, man, you're destroying your world,
Yep.
because without history, you have nothing. You have nothing else, because you're just going to
That's
keep
all demons
destroying.
in the corner.
Yeah. So it's really disheartening, to see these places being torn down, um, just because of the fact that a lot of these places really stood for something. I mean, I know some of the stuff in the South gets a bad rap because of things that went on, but I mean, you can't erase history. I mean, all you can do, history can teach you to change the future,
Yep.
but you still need that history there to teach you the lessons that should have been learned long ago. But I mean, that's part of evolution, and and as we grow as human beings, and you know, it's just real disheartening that they're tearing down history, because our younger generation, my kids, my kids, what are they going to know about anything? And you can already see it in today's generation, man. It's what I call the dumbing down of America, man. These people don't even know what branches of government is what, and who the president is. I mean, it's really disheartening, man. It just, I don't know. It's
Yeah, and
it kind of.
it's getting crazier and crazier closer to the election it gets too. So
Yep.
that's why I'm like,
Yep.
next week I'm gonna just take Tuesday off, and I'll be
Yeah.
live Wednesday, everybody.
We'll see if the world comes to an end after Tuesday, right?
Yeah, right. Well, I mean, hopefully this whole COVID goes away too. That's what everybody's
Oh
saying, right?
man, I'm so over the COVID and
Yeah.
just everything, man. This world 2020, dude, has brought on a kick in the, you know what? It's I don't know
You
what's
know, it'd
going
be
on, man.
really
It's like
funny though if Michael J. Fox came back, actually made it Back to the Future about 2020.
I wish I could see him just flashing my yard out here in the DeLorean and be like, "Hey, man, I was coming to warn you about this." Be like, "Hey, can you take me back to 1989?"
Yeah, right. Take you back a few years. So,
Mhm.
but after you guys really did or after Ghost Asylum, you guys moved into Haunted Towns. Tell me about Haunted Towns and how that was for you guys. This was
Um,
actually your fourth show now, Haunted Towns.
yeah, yeah, haunted towns. Uh, we moved on to that. It was, after doing so many years of just, insane asylums and things like that, it was nice to go back in and number one, not being places covered up with asbestos and needles. And, I mean, we hit some rough places during Ghost Asylum. But Haunted Towns kind of took us back to interacting with human beings, so we're, to kind of let our psyche take a rest a little bit, from just being in some of those other places. And plus it was cool to make the connections in that town to see how some of these transient spirits actually travel from place to place, making those connections, that 3 or 4 miles away from each other. We're making the connections with the same person that we were, over in the county jail, over at Sally's house. It was a pretty amazing experience. I'm glad we kind of made that transition. Just because it just gave you a little different feel, man. You get to do the insane asylums, and then you get back to actually interacting with people and trying to help them understand what's haunting their town.
Yeah. And you guys, so you guys did a few different towns. What was the kind of one that stood out for you?
Oh man, let me think, man. There's so many of them. I'm going through my brain. One of them that I really liked. We were out in. I always mess this up. It was out in the Midwest, the old city. Man, I always do this, dude. My brain is just like they shot Bonanza out there.
Was it South Dakota? It wasn't like Rapid City, was it?
No, it was something city.
Yeah, it's man. See, now this is why I need a good assistant, because I have them Googling and finding out where it is.
Yeah, man, dude, I've been to so many places, like they just run together sometimes. It was the old Western town.
Yeah.
Like where they shot Bonanza.
That's what I was going to look up. I was like, where's Bonanza filmed at? Virginia City.
That's it.
I should know Virginia City. Landon, you're watching out there. I'm gonna leave that up to you, man. This should have been you now.
But yeah, that place is still, I mean, it's like it hasn't moved in history, man. It's still like the town shuts down at like 5:30 in the afternoon. There's nobody out there. I mean, we done our wrap-ups and everything in the middle of the street.
Jeez.
And there was not a car one that come by. And I remember we had ex Beadler. He was the guy who actually used to hang the people, in the old sheriff's house. And they had so much history there, man. It's just like you went back into one of those old westerns and you were living it. Even the cemetery up on the hill, where they had buried a lot of those people that they had hanged. It was amazing to be there, just to kind of, just go back in time. That's what I liked about it.
Oh yeah, and that's going back to the history of all these buildings. I mean, that's how I feel, is going back in time. I know we're gonna have a couple people on for the after show, and we're gonna tell some cool stories. And one of them, I'm gonna have actually Anley, that's in my group. She's gonna come on and talk about in our place. It's close to old South Pittsburgh Hospital, but Hillsbar Dam, and that's in our place that we've been at. Have you been over there before?
Oh yeah, man. We did
crazy over there.
Yeah, we did an event there, man, and I had some crazy stuff. I know maybe there's some people out there that may be watching that was probably there with me, because I had a group of like 30 people around me because I had so much activity going on. And it was down at on the bottom, where the old lockers and stuff, it goes upstairs.
Yeah.
And then you have the big whirlpool.
Yep.
It was like the craziest stuff going on. And then we had the shadow people walking back and forth up on the balcony. I had an amazing experience down there, man. It was just very cool place to investigate.
Have you ever seen the video of them doing the scuba diving on the bottom floor? It's on YouTube.
No, I have not. I don't know that I'd want to jump in that water.
Oh, dude, I don't know either. But there's actually a team that went down there, a team of scuba divers, and there's a video on YouTube where they go through the whole thing. Dude, there's still like signage down there, tons of stuff, dude. It's really cool. But it's just a whole nother floor down there.
Yeah, man. I noticed that because I just thought it was something like an inlet, but then I looked down, and there was still the stairway that went all the way down into that place.
Yeah.
Which was amazing to me.
Yeah, it's a great place. I definitely want to try to get back out there sooner than later.
Right.
But so you guys were doing the Ghost Asylum for a while, then went on to Haunted Towns. And Haunted Towns you guys did for just about what, it was a year or so?
Haunted Towns,
Season or two?
it was 2 seasons. 2
Nice.
seasons.
Nice,
Yeah.
man. Then you guys went on to Haunted Live, which is just amazing because I think anything live where you can interact with people. I know you guys had, I forgot, was it Peppermint McFatty or whatever his name is? Always sit there kind of texting away and talking to people during commercials. And it was really cool because it kept everybody interactive. But for you, how was Haunted Live for you?
You know, it was a very difficult show to shoot. You know, everything had to be on cue. I mean, when you're on live TV, I mean, it's just like doing a live show. You know what I'm saying? Like, you have to be right on point when they're cueing cameras, when they're doing this. It was cool. We had stuff go on. I had a lot of experiences, surprisingly, with all that going on. But if I had to do again, I would rather go back to like a haunted town. So it's more of a controlled setting than having to push everything into an hour, because whatever we found, I mean, it had to be in real time because there was no, you know, not another show to come in and show the evidence that we caught during the night. Thank God for our viewers and people out on Twitter. There were some videos I was actually showing Jason Hale today from Rosemont. We had the bassinet moving by itself, and then there was one of me when we were at
you got attacked at Rosemont, didn't you? Or where's the place no, that was at
the Bell Witch.
Bell Witch, yeah.
Yep, I got scratched on the back of the leg really bad. And what was so cool, that video I was showing him, somebody in the intro, as we're talking before we go in, right as they come over to me and I'm talking and they zoom in on me, if you look behind me, there's a shadow figure that comes out of the house right behind me, just full humanoid. And I don't know if that was the start of whatever I was getting upstairs.
Yeah.
But apparently whatever it was, when I come home, I was layered up. It was cold as all get out. My wife asked me when I got home, she said, "Have you checked your leg?" I said, "No." She said, "Well, let's check it out." So I peeled the layers off because I had like 2 or 3 layers on. It was freezing cold. And she said, "You've got marks all down your leg." I said, "You're kidding me." And it was like 3 scratches. You know, they say that's the mark of whatever, but
Yeah.
I don't know if I believe all that. I think that's just how it happens. But I had scratches all down the back of my leg, which was really, it was a really crazy night there. We caught some weird stuff.
And it was that's where Chris got kind of buried alive too, right? Did he do a thing where he was down like in a hole or something?
Yeah, we did I guess if you want to call it that. I threw some dirt on top of his
probably
coffin. Yeah. Because we didn't want to really actually kill him. We didn't want to really actually kill him at that point in time, you know?
Yeah. You kind of liked him. You want to keep him around for a little bit longer, I would say. No, it was really cool though, but like to watch it, interact with you guys. That was one of my favorite parts, was just sit back, interact on a weekly basis and just watch you guys. Like I know you guys would hop on kind of during commercials and whatnot.
Yeah.
And let's see, going through all these awesome pictures I keep finding. But so during you're talking about kind of like the most difficult thing. So if you guys went back to it, you're of all of them, the asylums, everything, you're looking more, you kind of want to just kind of chill in town for an entire season and research a town. You're thinking more like kind of like what they did with Ghost of Shepherdstown type thing.
If I had the choice, I think I would do a little mixture. I would do some of the bigger places, going there for like a week, instead of just, a few nights, staying there for a week and see what happens. And then I'd also like to do some actual, just get back to the roots of residentials, and seeing what's going on. Cause I think there's a lot of residentials out here that don't get touched, that things are going on. And, it don't always have to be some kind of crazy insane asylum to get evidence, or to go out here and try to help somebody understand. Not that you're, this whole tangled web of, helping people, people, I think, get it a little twisted sometimes, because I mean, I think the only way you're really helping them is trying to calm them down and make them feel okay about their situation and kind of explain,
Give them peace of
you know,
mind.
give them a
Yeah.
peace of mind and give them an explanation of maybe why this is going on. Because a lot of people, you as an investigator, sometimes you kind of take it for granted that people are still scared of this stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, they're deathly afraid of it, and we kind of get this mentality sometimes of, oh, it's just another EVP, or oh, it's another haunting. Well, you know, to me, I mean, that stuff, I'm still like a kid in a candy shop. But some people I still find today, they're really scared of this stuff, and
Yeah.
you kind of get that sensory block sometimes when you do this for so long, because you get where you're not really afraid of it. You're more getting into that work mode of trying to understand and get the scientific, answers that you're wanting, the readings and that kind of thing. And you kind of lose track of, what other people may be thinking about this whole haunting situation.
Oh, exactly. And I mean, and a lot of people out there are still, that I think, are afraid to even speak up too, because they're afraid that what people are going to think of them.
Yeah.
And one thing, do not ever be afraid. If anybody out there is listening, don't ever be afraid to speak up, and don't think that people are going to think you're crazy, because that's where, I mean, you become crazy after a time. I mean, talk to people about it, because there's a lot of people out there like Doogie and I that are willing to help and want to help. So, because I mean, I'm sure you still get house calls every now and then, sure. Because I mean, we get them on our team too, but we go a little, we make sure we check into it, because around here you never know what you're going to get. Because it always is funny to see the house calls spike in October.
Yeah, around the spooky season.
Yep, every year.
Yeah. Well, it got a little harder to do residentials outside of TV, just because of the fact people would call us just to get us to come to their house. And
Exactly.
we had a few episodes that, not episodes, but I'm talking like residential investigations off of TV, that
Yeah.
it was like, man, we shouldn't have come here. This is not a haunting. This is called, these people are crazy.
Yeah.
Like they're generally, they need to be in a padded room.
Exactly. Yeah.
So
We have a heavy questionnaire, everything else that we talk to people about, and everything else before we even go to their house and check things out, because you never know what you're going to walk into.
no,
Next
you
thing you know,
don't.
you're putting lotion on.
It puts the lotion on the skin. Yeah, you definitely
So
don't want to.
of all 5 seasons, everything else, you're talking about just these bad or some bad investigations. What was your worst investigation that you still had to film? Like, kind of like you went to a place where you're like, I don't even want to be here, but you knew you had to be there and film. Was there ever a location of all those seasons? I think I stumped him now.
Bisbee, Arizona, man. We did, but when into that mine, I mean, we were miles back into this place. And after things weren't working, we figured out real quick you can't run a DVR system in a mine. Um, and having to carry that much equipment for miles, dude, at the end of the night, everybody hated everybody. We were ready to leave that place, and we didn't care if it caved in. And I don't recommend trying to shoot an episode in a mine.
Oh no, or the tunnels at Hills Bar either.
Oh no, absolutely not. That can get very, very frustrating.
Yeah, oh, yeah, we were trying to do some stuff down there. We're like, yeah, no, we're not gonna do this at all. So, all right. Well,
And
before we move on, oh, go ahead.
oh no, I think, say, if you want to try to do a live feed of any of that, it's not going to happen.
No, never. I love these old pictures of Porter with hair, man. I haven't seen him in a while.
Oh yeah, Porter and hair.
I think that was your first website you guys ever had. I found that an
Oh
old
yeah,
picture of y'all.
yeah, man. That's back when we had Joe and Snooze with us.
Yeah,
Yeah, that was old, man. Those two guys, which I still keep up with Snooze, man.
I was
Him and
gonna
his
ask you, do you still
family.
talk to all the old teammates? Because didn't you guys have, what was the other one, Chansey or Chassis, or what was
Oh,
his name?
Chasey Ray,
Yeah,
Chasey
Chasey.
Ray.
Yep.
Oh yeah, man. He's very dearly missed, man.
Yeah.
You can't replace a Chasey Ray. Uh, I would give anything if we had that dude back. The old team that we had, Porter, Chasey Ray,
Yeah.
me, Chris, Brandon.
The Ghost Asylum crew.
That was the golden team, man. No matter, no ifs, ands, buts about it, man. You can't. Nobody ever top that team.
Yeah, that was. I mean, it was awesome. And it was just a good lineup too with everybody.
That was
So,
like the Bulls. That was like the Chicago Bulls dynasty team.
well, that's like me. I can't even watch basketball no more because of that. Because I mean, I'm from the Chicago area, so in the '90s, I mean, the Bulls were it, man. I remember watching them every day. So, but let's see. All right. So I want to talk real quick. Sorry, I was trying to catch up with the chat. You investigated, I know, the Crossroads Museum down in Corinth, Mississippi, a couple of times. You've been down there for a couple of events. What was your take on that place, man?
Man, it's a real hit or miss place. Sometimes it's very active and sometimes it's very quiet. I've always got something there, but the extent or the heightened activity is in between trains. It's like a train will come through, the activity will just spike through the roof, and about 15 or 20 minutes later, then it's gone. So I think it's definitely something to do with those railroad tracks. I've always said that I think that energy coming off that train, the metal against metal, is giving off some sort of energy that whatever this is can draw off of, and it definitely that's the battery for that place at the crossroads.
Yeah, dude. So when I first, I don't know if I ever told you this or not, the story, but when I first met my wife, about a year after we were dating, she came to me. She goes, "Hey, I'm moving to Mississippi and going to college." I'm like, "Wait, what? Huh?" She goes, "Well, do you want to go with?" I was like, "Yeah, I kind of need a change of space." So we actually moved to Corinth, Mississippi, and my very first job
wow.
there was remodeling the depot into the museum. So when I first went
Wow.
in there, it was still the depot, and it was still laid out as a depot. We knocked out walls. We did this and that. So we did all the remodeling for like the first 3 months. And so this is when I kind of met a new girl and I got out of paranormal because I didn't want her to kind of think I was weird, man. I'm like, she's going to think I'm a crazy one. So I wasn't telling her anything. So, but we're over here at this depot and I mean, you know, the history of when you remodel things, when you start tearing things down, you kind of stir some stuff up. So we're over here and we're tearing stuff around, and I'm like, I swear to God, things are happening. This now, I'm like, nope, it's just my mind. I don't do that no more. I don't mess with that stuff anymore. It's nothing going on. And I still swore that things were going on. Then when I started seeing them bringing people in for investigations, and you guys were going down there, I was like, I knew it. I knew that whole damn time that there was shit there.
Yeah.
So, but it's definitely on my bucket list. Next time you guys are down there or anything else, I'm going to try to sneak down there and do some investigating with you guys because I know there's some stuff that was going down there when I was remodeling that place.
Yeah, well, I may be there soon. I don't know. I talked to Shiloh a few times,
Yeah.
and there might be something coming up in 2021. Things in 2020 have been kind of, you know how that's been. So hopefully some new events will be coming for 2021. Hopefully the Crossroads will be one.
For sure. So before we start wrapping everything up and we go into our little games and everything, I want to talk about for a couple minutes DoogsMind, man. It's something you kind of really started doing a couple years ago on social media and really just kind of just shining some light every morning, every now and then, either with Bible verses or just different sayings. And it's something that I try to share daily. If you guys follow me out there, I'm always trying to share whenever you're posting it. But tell me what got you into it? What kind of made you want to start kind of being that out with everything and really bring people together in a way and be an inspiration for people?
I started doing that, and people were like, "What are you doing with this DoogsMind?" And like it was 3 or 4 years ago, I started this just on Twitter, whatever. Um, I've been in the Hollywood scene. Things go on, and
Mhm.
with your teams internally, that kind of thing. And I just got tired of the the crap all the time. Waking up to just something else. And I was like, I'm not gonna live my life that way. When I see these verses, or if I'm thinking something in my mind, I'm going to share it, because if it's going to help me for the day, I guarantee that it's going to help somebody else. All they may be waking up one morning and being like, man, I don't even want to be, have my eyes open right now. Or you don't know somebody's mental state. And all it takes is that one inspirational quote or something from the Bible, um, to just help be like, I really needed that kick in the butt. That's talking to me today. I'm going to go out and I'm going to conquer this day. I'm going to do this. And just to keep a healthy psyche, because with everything, that's been going on the past 4 or 5 years, I mean, watching the news, that kind of thing, it's always depressing, man. And I just got so tired of all this depressing stuff. You got to have some kind of light in your life, something to look forward to, something to give you that spark for the day to get going. And when I have those sparks, I just share it with everybody else, because somebody might be having the same day I'm having and just need that little kick in the rear end saying, you know what, things aren't that bad. I can change today.
I'm the guy. No, there's been a lot of days, man, where I've read that. I was just like, hey, I mean, because over the last year, man, I've done a lot of stuff. Last year I was diagnosed with some crazy mental stuff.
Yeah.
And I've kind of got over that and got diagnosed with got on some good medication. At first I was diagnosed bipolar, and they gave me all these medications that made me just feel like a zombie. Like I felt like I didn't even exist in a way. Like I just felt like I was just here. And then my wife and I took this long road trip, and I just left those meds home for like 7 or 8 days. We were gone, and I'm like, I'm just going to get off these things. I don't want to be on them. So I saw another doctor when I got back, and then I was ADHD and put on Adderall. So I'm like, one extreme to another. All right, let's do this.
Yeah.
But since I started that, and I've really just changed everything. I mean, well, for one, I'm down almost 70 pounds because of it. I noticed
that.
Appreciate it, man. Yeah, I've lost in about a year. I think I'm down about 70 pounds a year, but I saw my appetite change, and I went with it. And I actually today is 300 days since I quit drinking. So I haven't drank or had a drink in 300 days. So
congratulations, brother.
Appreciate it, man. But yeah, so I gave up drinking. My wife told me one time, she's like, I bet like you better high than drunk. I said, I kind of like myself better that way. There's no hangovers.
So yeah, you feel a whole lot better.
Yeah, man. So I was like, okay, we can roll with that. And then Illinois became legal. I was like, all right, I like this. But yeah, that's why. So when I started seeing you post these, I really started just kind of thinking about different things. And dude, you became an inspiration over last year. I'm not gonna lie, just kind of reading a lot of those things and kind of put me in a better mood, dude, sometimes. And that's why I'm like, when I first started thinking, I'm like, well, I really want to do a paranormal episode. I'm like, I gotta have Doogie on because I want to talk about DoogsMind and all the stuff that you kind of do outside the paranormal, because I mean, you are still followed by your really strong Christian faith, and that played a lot in all your shows. You guys, before a lot of the shows, you guys had prayer, and that's something we try to do as a team too. Kind of almost copy off you guys, but I think it helps because if you're going into these places, you need some kind of protection. If it's a big man upstairs or something, you need some kind of protection that's going to help you out and kind of protect you while you're in here, because you don't know what you're going to come across. You might think you're talking to someone that might be a relative or something, but it might not be. It could be something that's kind of mimicking something, or just kind of being something you don't want to deal with out there. But so that's one thing that I really kind of gravitated towards you because of that, and because of DoogsMind and how you're really your faith and dude, and just how you've always been so damn positive in everything you do. So I definitely want to bring that up tonight. Appreciate it.
Yeah. Well, I try, man. And like I said, I'm glad that they help you, man. But things that, I definitely don't post it to get likes, because when you post stuff about the Bible or you post about this, it's not about, most of the time I don't even look back at it, because if it helps one person, man, my mission was accomplished for the day.
Mm-hmm.
I don't care if it was 20 likes or if it's 1,000 likes. As long as it helped that one person, other than myself, then my mission was accomplished for the day, because there's always somebody out there needs that positive reinforcement. And prayer, whatever your faith system is, whoever's out here listening, have faith in something. That's all I can tell you. Just have faith in something, and it definitely helps your mental state.
Oh man, I appreciate that, Doogie. Well, we're gonna play a quick game before I let you go. It's called Hot Seat. I know you've been on Anley's show before, and this is kind of where this game resurrected from. You started doing it, and I'm like, when I started my show about a year ago, I was like, I really like that, so I'm going to do the same thing. So it's just a bunch of random questions we're going to ask you. We're going to try to get through in 60 seconds. We probably won't, but if you can investigate with anyone, living or dead, who would it be?
Living or dead? I really don't know. Probably if I had anybody that I would want to investigate with, would be Chasey Ray again, to be honest.
Hell yeah, dude! I'd love to see him out there again with little K2 in his hand running around.
Yeah, he was a real investigator.
Yeah, I love it, man. What was your first piece of equipment you ever purchased for paranormal?
Tape recorder.
What's your hometown famous for?
Barbecue.
Oh shit! I gotta grab some next time I'm through there.
Yeah.
One location you want to investigate that's on your bucket list that you've never investigated.
Trans-Allegheny.
Ah, dude, I want to get there so bad. Well, that's our 60 seconds. We got through 4, but we're gonna see how many. Trans-Allegheny is definitely on my list, dude. If I get there, I'm gonna let you know for sure. What was your first job? Your first 9 to 5?
My first job, construction. Back before I could even walk, my family owned a construction company, and that's what I did.
Nice, man. All right.
Yeah.
Your favorite vehicle you ever owned?
A 1989 Jeep Cherokee.
Nice. I was gonna say everybody always has that one car. They're like, damn, I love that car. That was my baby. Mine was a Pontiac.
Yeah, that was my car.
Never. It's awesome, dude.
Oh, nice.
Your favorite
Grand Prix.
Yeah. Your favorite Halloween costume you ever wore?
Freddy Krueger.
Oh hell yeah, dude. That's a good one. I know I had a picture up there earlier. It looked like you and your wife were Cheech and Chong.
Actually, no, that was actually my wife's friends. We were Bob Ross, and she was my patient last year.
There you go.
Yeah.
That was awesome, dude. What's your favorite getaway location? Have you just got done filming a whole season, and you just got back from Hawaii? Where are you gonna go? Just to kind of get away. Where you gonna take the family and just kind of say no cameras, nothing. I just want to go hide.
Gatlinburg, Tennessee.
Hell yeah, man.
Up in the mountains,
I mean,
away from everybody.
Not far from home for you.
Yeah, about 4 hours, 4.5 hours.
But just the Smoky Mountains is awesome, dude. I love going down there.
It's so peaceful, man. You just get away from everybody.
Now, our last one. What's an item that's still on your bucket list? Something that you still would like to accomplish or do in your lifetime?
Just help people, man. Just be an inspiration. Just be an inspiration to somebody. Just keep going that way.
You do it daily, man. Every time you post one of those DoogsMind, every time, like I said, every time I see it, I'm going to share it because I really think whenever you post one of those, man, you're going to reach that one person, like you said, and it's going to change or help someone. It's going to give someone that encouragement or that kickstart in the morning and who knows, they might read that on their way to somewhere, and then they might do something for somebody else right after that, and you might start a chain event that day or chain reaction all day long. You never know, man. So I appreciate you posting all that, man, and it's been a great night talking with you. I wish we had more time, which we will. We'll talk a little bit more. We got some cool stories that we're going to share in the after show here in about 15-20 minutes. So, but dude, thank you. Really quick, before I let you go, let's talk about, I'm going to share this link, this event, your last event probably this year, right? That you actually have going on, but Franklin, Kentucky.
Yes, Franklin, Kentucky, December 5th. The Old Stone Jail. You're going to be one of the first people, if you come to this event, to ever investigate this place. We have the Old Stone Jail, and we also have the old museum across the street. There used to be an old Ford factory. It's going to be history. I mean, it was the 1800s, man. There's still records there from early 1800s. And, if you can make it out to this event with me, just once, I would highly recommend it. I would highly recommend this event. It goes, the money's going to help the museum. COVID's hurt everything. Help the museum, help the jail.
Cool. I shared the link in the comments.
Yeah, if you're up there in the Bluegrass State, come on down to Franklin.
Oh, I know I got some Kentucky listeners out there, so they better get this out. But well, Doogie, thanks so much for hanging out. We'll talk again in 15 minutes, dude. All right. Go get you a drink or hang out for a minute.
Yeah,
We'll get you on in 15 minutes. Thank you, man. Take care.
All right, man. Appreciate it. All right. You too.
Guys, that was another amazing show with Doogie. God, I love that show. He is going to come back along with, you guys saw in the chat tonight, Landon Wells and Anley Lucas from my team. We're going to join us on the after show here in about 15-20 minutes. So I'm going to get everything set up. But thank you guys so much for joining. Amazing episode. And Stephen Doogie McDougal. I can't ever say that all together. I just call him Doogie, man. I don't ever call him Stephen. But we need more people in the world like him. Put the positive forward and the negative behind us. And just someone that's showing so much passion for what he does and for what he cares about. And that's everybody. So that's why I want to show kind of a little bit more positivity. Thanks, Landon, man. I appreciate that, dude. A little bit more positivity in this world because everybody needs it every now and then. But come back about 15 minutes, like I said. If you are part of our Patreon, if you're not, I will share the link in the chat and I'll try to get you added to the show. If not, you can see it right after we're live. But we are going to do a paranormal panel live on our Patreon right after this. Take about 15-minute break and we're going to be back. But come on and join us on the after show. Get on our Patreon. I'll check the list and try to add you onto the Facebook group and have you on. We're going to share some really cool stories. Landon had something that really cool happen to him outside Atlanta, Georgia. Just intense, very intense. So we're going to talk about that and just some amazing stuff. But join us Friday night. If you can't join us on the after show, we are going to be back. Second show this week, 2 shows in 1 week. Makeup show with Mitch Roselle. We tried having it last Tuesday. It's had some crazy audio issues. We're going to get together much earlier in the day on Friday and really try to work these out and test these different issues and make sure we have a show Friday night on the night before Halloween. So come hang out with us with Mitch Roselle. He's going to play some songs. We're going to chat a little bit. We're going to have a great time. So thank you guys again. Amazing night. Join us at the after show. See you soon.
Memphis podcast with Aaron Shriver is brought to you by Arlo Revolution. As we close the book on another chapter, remember, music gives a soul to the universe, wings to the mind, flight to the imagination, and life to everything. Next week, Aaron connects more melodies and memories with other fans and the artists they love. Thanks for being a part of this musical journey, and we'll see you next time on the Gainin' Fast on Memphis podcast with Aaron Shriver.